swag. Redeemer Lutheran got that Lutheran swag. ELCA got that Lutheran swag. Hey, yo, the Warriors got that Lutheran swag.
Thank you so much for coming. Many of you are here because you are a shareholder. You had purchased some stock in this wonderful group of youth and this journey that they were on with Christ as the center. And so we want to make sure that we thank you for that support. Because without that support, it wouldn't have been able to happen, because in about a year's time we needed to fundraise over $12,000 for us to be able to travel down, which sounds like a lot of money, but for everything that we did and everything that we took in, it was a great deal. I want to explain that this journey that we were on, it says Synod Journey and ELCA Youth Gathering. The ELCA Youth Gathering is a 4-day event that takes place in a larger city. It's taken place in the past in places like San Antonio, Atlanta, Dallas, and we were in New Orleans 2 years in a row for the ELCA Youth Gathering. The Synod Journey is a phenomenal piece that we are fortunate enough to be able to partake in. Our Synod, the Northeast Minnesota Synod, puts together our own little 4 or 5 day journey that takes place before the gathering and ties in with the theme of the gathering. What many other churches will do on their way down to something like the gathering is they'll stop at well, I should just say, what I did as a youth director when I wasn't in the Synod is we'd stop at a water park, or we'd go to a baseball game, or we'd do some of those kind of foofy things that you do with your family, usually for family vacations. And then we go to the gathering, we have this great experience, and then we go home. Well, our Synod is very unique, and I think we're the only ones that do something of this caliber, where there's 500 of us traveling together as a Synod and doing different pieces that you're going to hear about from the kids. And I just want to acknowledge, because she's here and she doesn't want to be acknowledged, Catherine Anderson, our Synod coordinator, member here at First Lutheran Church. Is a key component of that, along with other volunteers within the Synod. And so, on the table in the back, you might have noticed that there are some white booklets. These booklets have write-ups that each one of these kids did about their experience on these 10 days in July. If you were a shareholder, your name should be on one of those and it should be highlighted. So make sure that you grab one. If you are here and you are not a shareholder, but you want to read what the kids wrote about their experience, there is a little pile of some extras. It's a first come, first serve. So, the last thing I want to do is make sure that when you see these fabulous youth walking around the church, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but on other days after this, ask them and talk to them about their experience. They're only going to be sharing a small piece because we have limited time, but they have so much to share. As you read through those writings, many of them will talk about this as such a mountaintop experience in their lives. Ask them, third degree them, probe them a little bit more about what their experience was like. So, all right. We are going to kick it off, and I'm going to turn the microphone up on the stage over to Andy Larson, who's going to be talking about the bus ride. Since we spent like 55 hours on a bus.
Hello? Oh, okay. Sweet time.
You want to stand up on the stage, Andy? Oh. Then everyone can see you. There it is.
Hello.
Hello.
As it says, my name is Andy Larson. I went on this Synod journey, and it's honestly awesome. First, I just want to say to thank you for everyone who helped fundraise all this and just set all this up. This was definitely a worthwhile thing that we got to do, and we couldn't have done without you guys, so thank you so much for that. And so yeah, the bus, it was a long bus ride. 55 hours or so, but every journey has its beginning. Ours began on a bus, and when we first got to the church where everyone was loading up, we could already tell that there were other churches that were from our area on the bus. So when we got on the bus, after giving our kisses goodbyes and pictures and stuff like that, we go on the bus and everyone just kind of stops talking and just looks at us. And gives us kind of a not very comfortable feeling welcome. I mean, not like, oh hey, I mean not like evil, but we were different from them. And so we kind of just sat in the front because all the back was taken, and then the could hear whispers like, shh, 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 First Lutheran, shh, shh, shh. So we kind of sat down, and then we kind of looking around, like, oh, there's some pretty cool people, I guess. And, yeah, you know. And so then we sat down, and it was kind of a typical, for the first couple hours, it's kind of like a typical bus ride, you know. All the people who knew each other were talking with each other, all the people who didn't know them kind of ignored them, you know, kind of just thought of them as an extra seat with a blob in it. And, but then after a while, after a few hours on, we got these t-shirts that kind of forced us to go around and get their names. They had their last names on it, so we had to walk around on the bus asking different people their last name, which is kind of a weird question to start off with someone you don't know, but it got us to ask them. And so then, you know, we started talking a little bit, and then eventually we fell asleep on the bus overnight and kind of slept with our people, you know, not in an appropriate way. And, but then once the next day we like stopped to eat, we all kind of felt like that, and then we started talking with other people. I think we were too tired to know who we were talking to, so it didn't even matter anymore. But we started talking, socializing more, just kind of asked them where they were from, what kind of stuff they do outside of school, sports, activities, etc. And then eventually we got to Biloxi, and by then we were already pretty close, you know. We were already sitting with new people, and after Biloxi, when we started going to New Orleans, everybody was connected with each other. I mean, without all the mulching, which is gardening with wood chips, which we'll talk about some a little later. But we just became very close with each other, and once we got to New Orleans, our whole bus got split up just by each church, and that was probably one of the hardest parts because we got so close. It was unfortunate that we got so close right at the end of like we were going to be with each other, and then we all split up for about the 5 days that we were down in New Orleans. But then we got to see each other kind of on the street. We'd be walking by Bourbon Street, like, oh hey, you're on Bourbon Street, cool. You know, and then eventually we got to get on the busway back. We all got to come on the bus, and we just got to talk about all the amazing experiences that us individuals like experienced ourselves, and all the different ways we've seen God and throughout the whole journey. And on the busway back, I could see no one was sitting with someone that was from a church. Everybody was sitting with someone that they had just met, and everyone was talking, having a good time. And that bus ending trip back was probably one of the best parts of it, just meeting with all these new people. And departing from that, getting dropped off, was probably one of the hardest parts, because after those 10 days, we became so close to them. And we still haven't seen some of them, but hopefully one day we'll see all of them. And I saw God in all those people, and I miss them all.
Next up, we have Elise Coffin talking about the worship while we were in Gulfport on the Synod journey.
Hi. So like Andy said, we were all really close to our bus family. And then we had to go, after you meet like, I don't know, 30 new kids, you're kind of like done, like, okay, how many names can I memorize, how many people? And then they just throw us in this gymnasium and they're like, okay, here's 500 more, have fun. And it was kind of overwhelming. But, so when you just feel like another youth among like 500, it's kind of scary. But the pastor that night, Mike Carlson. He really pinned us for who we were. And he's like, yep, I know some of you live at your church, you know, night and day. I know others, just know where the cookies are. Go to the cookies, go home. And like, each one of us were like, oh my God, that's me. So just like him realizing like that he knew each one of us, but yet he had never seen any of us was really cool. And he talked about Peter and leaving the boat. And I had never really thought about the Peter story before, and like how Peter left the boat so he could walk on the water like Jesus was. And just the way he told it was like, wow, I actually get it. And he was just talking about how like we all have a boat in our lives, and how we can stay in it and like be with Jesus, but if we get out of it, it's like, Peter, come on, get back in the boat, you're dumb, like, come on. So that was just really touching, and I don't know, Mike Carlson really just hit home for a lot of us. And by the end of the night, like the 500 other kids who you were sitting with were like, wow, you had the same experience that I just did, that's really cool. So yeah, that's about it.
Next up, we have Ed. He's going to talk. You've heard a little bit about some mulch. You've seen some poems maybe on your table about mulch. This is going to be Ed talking about the mulch.
Okay, so while we were in Gulfport, we did our service, which is probably the most memorable for all of us, I'm guessing. We did mulch work the first day, and all of our groups, or everybody there, did something different. Everybody over here was mulching, which was wheelbarrows of mulch, digging the mulch, and we mulched the library, was it?
Yeah.
And also their
Visitor center.
and the visitor center. So both places we mulched while we were there. And let's see, Megan wrote a poem about it on the way back. I felt like these were really bonding moments for us. I mean, when you get down and start working with a whole bunch of people that you kind of know, you really start to know them a lot better. And I made a lot of friends that day. Actually, it kind of changed how, I don't know, I meet people and stuff. It was really nice. I was glad I had the opportunity to do that. It wasn't really, I mean, it was for them, but I felt like I took a lot more experience from it than they got help from it. So that's what I thought. Thank you.
All right, and we've got Eric Donchi that's going to be talking about one of our fun little adventures on the Synod journey called Ship Island.
Okay, so the first day when we got to Gulfport, they were like, we're going to trick you into wanting to do all this mulching by not doing work, but taking this awesome ferry ride out to this giant island with wonderful beaches. So we get on the ferry, and it's like a 30-minute ride, and so we're all just talking. And then we get there, and it's really hot, like blazing sun. So we're like, all right, and there's no wind on the side. So we're just like, this will be fun. And then someone's like, I'm gonna go on the other side of the island. And I was like, what's the other side of the island? And so we go over there to like the real beaches. And there's like awesome waves and perfect wind, and you're like, you go to get in the water, and it's like room temperature, and you're like, from Duluth, you're like, alright. So then we spent all day there, and we got sunburned and went on boogie boards and stuff, and on the way back was probably the most like God visualizing part, because it started pouring rain on the ferry, like it did when it flooded. It was that hard. And so there was this elderly woman sitting next to me, and she was like one of those really cranky people who was complaining about everything, like the youth people talking and stuff, and then how bad it was raining. So me and this other man put up our coats and like stopped the rain from raining on her, and she didn't even thank us because she was so grumpy and mean. You know, for me it was kind of like, I get to do this, but even though I don't get any recognition for it. And so that was probably my favorite part of the whole trip, was going to this awesome beach. Thanks.
All right, so we have a little video here to help put some pictures to some of those words that the kids were talking about.
You are the church geeks. Let me hear it for the church geeks.
Can't
to meet.
Yeah.
All the lions, they can eat my body, but they can't swallow my soul. No, no, no. But they keep on trying to crash my party, but they can't get control. No, 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 no way, crazy. No way, crazy. As Satan prowls like a roaring lion, he's seeking whom he will devour. Yeah, but I know that though he keeps on trying, yeah, well, he's no match for Jesus' power, baby. All them lions, they can eat my body, but they can't swallow my soul. No, no, no. But they keep on trying to crash my party, but they can't get control. No, 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 no way, crazy. No, no way, crazy. Even demons believe and tremble, but they try to ruin your life the same. Yeah, but I know that when the saints assemble, yeah, well, Satan runs to every sign of Jesus' name. Oh, baby. Satan prowls like a roaring lion. He's seeking whom he will devour. Yeah, but I know that though he keeps on trying, yeah, well, he's no match for Jesus' power, baby. All them lions, they can eat my body, but they can't swallow my soul. No, no, no. But they keep on trying to crash my party, but they can't get control. No, 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 no.
All right. All right, so next up, we've got Bailey Johnson, who is going to be talking a little bit about, when we get to New Orleans, the atmosphere there with 33,000 Lutherans.
Okay, so how many of you have been to one of those soccer games where at the end both teams have to line up and then high-five each other for a game well played? That was happening every 10 minutes. You couldn't walk 3 blocks without seeing another group with matching shirts. And the minute they saw you, they immediately yelled, "Hey, what church are you from?" Didn't even matter if they were across the street, they'd still ask. And some of these groups even had presents for us. They were giving out little memorials saying, "Hey, you met the team from Iowa or Michigan." If they were feeling shy, sometimes if you took off your backpack and you'd find a little clothespin there with the name of a different church painted on it, and you can't remember when someone put it there. I think one of us even had like a bracelet snuck in our bag. We had no idea where it came from. Sometimes it was just that crowded, you had no idea who else was touching your bag, but everyone just wanted to meet you, say hi, give a high five. If you were going the same direction, they'd even talk to you for a little while longer. Everyone was just so happy to be there. It didn't matter. We were walking home to the hotel in the pouring rain. Didn't matter. You were surrounded by Lutherans. Hey, start singing. They're probably all going to join in if they know the song. It was just, everyone was so happy to see you, so happy to be there. It was a community, even if most of us had never been to New Orleans before. It didn't matter. It was just a big family of Lutherans.
While in New Orleans, the 3 days of the gathering, there was 3 focus areas that we learned about those 3 days. Practice discipleship, practice justice, and practice peacemaking. And so now we're going to have Shania, Ian, and Mary touch a little bit about our experiences with those.
Alright, hey guys, I'm Shania. I'll be talking to you about practicing discipleship. what we did that day was, it was kind of like a big worship with our Synod group that we traveled down with and we were in Biloxi with. We started off by singing some songs, and there was a wall like blocking the two separate parts of the room, and we took the wall down so we were all one big group, and we sang some more songs, we got some communion, and then we broke up into smaller groups, into little circles, and with different people that we knew, a couple people, but not everybody. We got to know them, and we talked about our faith. We learned a little bit about prayer, and then we broke off back into our church group, and we went around the city with a little booklet and just learned about each other, our faith, and hung out together, I guess. It was a lot of fun. I think I learned from the people in my circle that I sat with that even though we were all from different areas, we do different things, we were all just Lutherans and coming together to be one group in God.
Okay, I'm Ian. The Practice Justice Day, I believe, was our last full day in New Orleans. And what it was the Practice Justice Day was our service work day. And now, first off, what I should say is every one of the 33,000 people there got one of these orange shirts. And you had to wear that orange shirt on the day of your Practice Justice project. So on any given day, a third of those Lutherans you were high-fiving would be wearing these shirts. So you always knew like who was working that day, and you would always ask, "Oh, what'd you do?" And there was all sorts of different stuff people got to do, and there was I think some people on our bus said they went and saw a play or something, but no, we were the lucky ones, and we got to do some more manual labor. So what we were doing is we were cleaning up an abandoned neighborhood that had been devastated by hurricanes, and the wildlife had just completely overgrown the entire area. And what we had to do is we had to take these swing blades, which are like golf clubs with serrated knives on them, and we just hacked at this jungle about 10 feet in from the road, and it doesn't sound that hard at first, but then you realize that the weeds and the growth, it looked really pretty, but it had grown over like the guide wires on the telephone poles and stuff, and you had to pull all that down. It was just so difficult to see, and so like you realize how lucky we are that, I mean, just the flood we had this summer even, it was nothing compared to what had happened down there. I think the thing that really struck home was that we were finding all this crap in the jungle, basically. And it was like, we found a propane tank, we found lots of like pop bottles and beer bottles and just all the stuff that had just been left there from when people had been there or when cars had been there. It was just really, really weird to see. But we got to work with a bunch of churches we didn't know for that one, so we would talk with the other people hacking away at it and say, "Oh, where are you from? How much stuff have you found in the jungle?" But no, it was really, that was a really rewarding day, I think. To see the progress we had made. I mean, just 10 feet in from those roads that we cleared of this really dense growth in a matter of 4 hours. It was really just spectacular to see, and I think that was maybe not the most fun day, but easily the most rewarding day we had in New Orleans. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Mary Donchie, and along with Chad, I was the other adult leader on this trip. And just to make a quick mention, you'll see that we're wearing different shirts, and we did have different shirts for every day that we were on the trip. I'm talking about practicing peacemaking, and this is the shirt that we wore on that day. So very cool. Practice peacemaking was the interactive learning component of the gathering. The idea behind it was to help make us more conscious of our own call to how we could strive for justice and peace within ourselves, our community, and our world. It was held at the New Orleans Convention Center. The official name is the New Orleans Ernest Memorial Convention Center. It was named after the first African-American mayor of New Orleans. It's gigantic. It's on the banks of the Mississippi River right in New Orleans, and it covers 11 blocks and has over 3 million square feet in total space. So we spent a good deal of the day there. Inside the convention center were many, many opportunities to engage in peacemaking activities. And I don't think there was any way you could do all of them. Maybe in 3 days, but certainly not that day. There were technology hotspots where you could listen to a band and then share your experience via your electronic devices with the ELCA colleges, seminaries, and the women of the ELCA. And there were digital scavenger hunts as well. Along with that day, there were giving opportunities, including the 100 Wells project, in which they did meet their goal of raising $250,000 in order to go towards wells. You could donate your blood, you could donate your hair. We didn't have anybody that I think did either in our group, but on our bus we did have a couple of women who donated their hair that day, so it was pretty exciting.
I tried, but they denied me.
There were sports opportunities such as volleyball, ultimate frisbee, tetherball, which I know a few of our youth experienced. I believe a couple of the youth went through Tinkletown. This is where you got into a wheelchair and you tried to maneuver that wheelchair through a non-wheelchair friendly home. And I heard it was pretty exciting. There was a high ropes course and bumper cars. There were introspective options as well. I know that, I think most of us did the prayer labyrinth. Was a big room with a huge prayer labyrinth in it, and you walked the labyrinth and prayed for whatever. You know, they gave you a little bag, you put a little candle in it, electric candle, and along the way you would pray and lay your candle down wherever. So that was incredible. There were artistic expressions, group discussions, art galleries, just to name a few. There were many, many. When I reflect on our Peacemaking Day activities, I'm reminded of the wonderful group of young people with whom I was traveling. Even just now, I was choking up thinking about how much fun we had and what a great time it was. It rained most of the day, and we ended up having to change a couple of items on our itinerary. The soaking rain and uncertainty of how the day was going to play out left us feeling a little vulnerable. At least that's how I felt. With my hair soaked and plastered to my head at least 3 times, and my feet swimming in my tennis shoes, my internal wall was coming down a bit. The youth showed incredible resiliency, and later as conversations were shared, I learned just how authentic and open they came to be that day. Later, we went back to the Peacemaking Center, later the Peacemaking learning continued as we headed back to the Superdome, and our speakers that night were Jamie Nabosny. He was a man who was severely harassed when he was in school in the landmark court case that established safety for all students as a result when he sued the school district. One of the top 10 2011 CNN heroes, Diane Latiker, was there. She was a woman who began a mentoring program on the south side of Chicago. And then the keynote was Lema Gabawi, who was the 2011 Nobel Peace Laureate. And of course, I know the women of the ELC did a little M&M event on her. She was instrumental in organizing the peace talks that ended the civil war in Liberia. I can't say enough about this wonderful group of kids. to say they were fabulous and awesome is probably understating it. I want to just plug the next one that's happening to all of you youth over here, that it was such an awesome event. You really, really, really need to try to make it into 2015. You know, get active now, start working on your fundraising, because it really was a remarkable trip. Lastly, I want to thank the church for their support. Thanks to Chad for asking me to attend. Thanks to everyone for their prayers and kind words. And thanks to the youth for allowing me to be a part of this awesome part of their faith journey.
Next up, we've got Lee Hansen talking about the food.
Hey, when we were down there, we ate food. It's a pretty remarkable experience. Even after a lot of hours working mulch and everything, it's nice to have a sandwich and whatever, drink water. We ate many places down there. The Oceana. It was tuna. They had tuna there. It was ahi tuna. It doesn't come in a can. It's fresh. The Voodoo Barbecue. Best barbecue you will ever have, man. Someone got chicken at the table I was sitting at, and they just picked it up by the bone. Came right off. Delicious. It was very good. Even the coleslaw, man. I mean, KFC has good stuff, but I mean, barbecue, way better. I mean, Jesus loves Voodoo Barbecue too. That's how good it is. They cater for heaven. It's great stuff. Cafe, Fleur de Lis, and Beignet, they're pretty similar places. They sold beignets, square donuts. I think everybody here has had a square donut that one time. We sold them. Yeah, we went to Court of Two Sisters. That is better than Country Buffet, I can tell you that. It is the best buffet I've ever had. What did I have? I had turtle soup, but that was pretty nasty. That was horrible. I had cake, coconut cake, good coconut, chocolate, Oreo cake. It's pretty good. We had shrimp, bananas foster. That is bananas with like brown sugar cooked in rum or something like that. I don't know. I thought it was good. Yeah, that was our eating experience. It was oysters. Oh yeah, oysters. Oysters. So we went to this restaurant near our hotel. Chad knows the name of it. I don't know it. But I tried raw oysters with Ed. Ed and I we bonded over this. We have a video of it too, because Chad couldn't leave it out. So, you'll see what happens. All right.
And for our last speaker, we have Megan McNamee talking about our evening life at the Superdome.
Hey. So there were like 33-some thousand of us down there, so that was a lot of people. And so we had our worship every night in the Superdome. And it was really, really cool every night. Like, the effort that must have gone into that for all of the staff there was just incredible. It was like one big concert every night. We saw all these speakers, and the four main speakers, we had Nadia Boltz-Weber and Shane Claiborne, and I know Mary just talked a little bit about Lama Gabawi. She was really neat. and then Adrena Ingram, and they all had really incredible stories to tell about the way God had touched their lives, and a couple of them are pretty funny too, so it was really enjoyable. And lots of really cool musicians. There was, we saw like Agape, who, if any of you have read the bulletin lately, is going to be here in a couple months. And like Rachel Kurtz, who did the main gathering song, and she was just an incredible singer. She has an amazing voice. And Lost and Found, they were great. And then there were so many just really neat things. The night that we were on the floor, it's just like there's conga lines going, and then everybody's walking past you and high-fiving you. Like I know Bailey talked all about the high-fiving, and it's just like your arm got tired because you're holding it up there. And there's just people walking past, and no foreseeable end to conga lines. And yeah, we saw Switchfoot one night, and that was really neat. And nobody else had really listened to Switchfoot, I guess, too much in our group, but I'm a fan of them, so that kind of made my day a lot. But yeah, it was really neat. There's really cool light shows that they did. They lit up their cross. They had like this big cross that was up there, and they just like light it up and do all this weird stuff with it to music. They did the Tron theme a couple times with it, and it was like, whoa. But yeah, it was a really neat thing because you're just there with all these 3,000 people, and then when Rachel Kurtz starts singing and everybody lights up a cell phone, or our group had finger lights, which were awesome. Thank you, Chad. And everybody's just waving their hands, and you're all singing together, and it's a really neat feeling to be there with everybody. And it's kind of hard to bond with 33,000 people at once, but I think that's what we did, as close as you can get to it. So yeah, it was a really nice way to end our night every day, just being there and hanging out and seeing everything. So, thank you.
All right, so now we've got a short little video to kind of put some images again to what we talked about in regards to New Orleans.
To make a difference, I want my life to make a change. I want my life to do some good here. I want my life to make a change. Working side by side, no outer inside. Together we can make that change. With the few or many, with the lot or not any, together we can make that change. I want my life to make a difference. I want my life to make a change. I want my life to do some good here. I want my life to make a change. Crossing the great divide, joy and peace will abide. Together we can make that change. Jesus is our peace, all fighting will cease. Together we can make that change. I want my life to make a difference. I want my life to make a change. I want my life to do some good here. I want my life to make a change.
Goes like this, check it out. Let's go make a difference. We are the citizens, with the saints, with the sins. Distance and division's been killed, you see. Past hostility is history. One body bringing unity, new humanity. Families, reality, we used to be distant, but now we're all together and we're making a difference. Walk alongside ya, I don't wanna fight ya. Christ is our peace, our prophet like Elijah. Savior that I savior, we're no longer strangers. Used to be far away, today we now are neighbors. Walls fall like, oh, and the cornerstone's Christ, our peace and the giver of life. Hold us together and guide us tonight. Show us how you want us to serve, how you want us to listen, and with you we'll be making a difference.
I want my life to make a
Thank you, Lee and Ed, for being good sports about that. That was just too good to leave out. I do want to let you know that in February, on the Sunday before Ash Wednesday, we're going to be doing our Taste of New Orleans again in celebration of not only Fat Tuesday, but to also begin fundraising for that 2015 gathering. This group has been very vocal that these kids need to have this opportunity. And so we need to begin fundraising now because we're going to be bringing like 30 kids the next time. But again, but also to celebrate what we have experienced, what we've learned, and then to continue what we've been doing in this church ever since they signed up a year in advance for this journey. So let's close with a word of prayer. Lord, we thank you for this wonderful congregation, this wonderful community, this wonderful church, and lifting up and supporting the youth of tomorrow, for helping them grow in their faith and to be able to develop a closer relationship with you. Please continue to keep them in your hearts and in their prayers as we struggle with some of the day-to-day things that make being a Christian difficult, especially as a youth. Help them to continue to walk the walk and to be able to proclaim your name through their actions. In your name we pray. Amen. Again, just a reminder about the booklets in the back for those of you that might have came late. If you were a shareholder, there's booklets in the back with the kids' write-ups. And make sure again that you talk to these kids about their experience. You got to see little snippets, but they have lots more stories to share. So thank you very much.